Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Eva and this is my cozy corner of the internet, and today we are going to be doing our weekly coffee and book chat. So grab yourself a warm drink or a cool drink, whatever suits you, and we're going to talk about books. So if you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome home. But if you are new here and you've never seen a coffee and book chat before, I'm going to explain to you really quick what that is. It is literally exactly as it sounds. We're going to talk about the books that I have read and or finished this week while we have coffee. So it's like a little coffee date where we just sit and we talk about books. Please feel free to leave any books that you have read down below, or maybe books that you want to read, whatever suits you. So we are going to start with the books that I have finished this week. So I'm actually just pulling up my story graph. I did restart 75 Booked on the 1st of December. So at the time of recording this, we are 7 days in. And so far, I've really been holding it down. I think that doing daily check-ins in the form of short form content. So they've been uploaded to they've been uploaded to YouTube Shorts and also over on TikTok. That has really kept me accountable to reading and doing the things that are my rules on the checklist. I do need to catch up my journal. However, I ex-nayed the journal thing as a hard and fast rule because I don't update my journal every single day. I update my journal at the end of the week. So because of that, it didn't work for me to try and make myself update it every day. I don't do it that way. So I know that's a question that I got in my DMs when I said I was starting this over, and I didn't mention that. But I do drink 2 bottles of water a day, 32-ounce cups of water a day. I also read for 2 hours every single day and update on TikTok and do at least, now I didn't put a time limit on this, but I have been shooting for an hour of self-care that is no work self-care. So that means I can watch YouTube or listen to a podcast, but I have to do something that's not tied to my YouTube work. So I can't be like listening to an audiobook for a project or anything like that. It must be self-care. I do allow myself to diamond paint during that time, but I cannot be filming myself diamond painting for like B-roll or anything like that to count it. I hope that makes sense. So let us look at the books that I finished this week. So I finished 3 books this week. So the first book that I finished was Trick Shot by Kayla Gross. And this was one of the books that was picked for Smutmas. So if you missed those live streams over the last week, you can go rewatch them over on Vanessa's channel. But yeah, Trick Shot was the first one that I finished this week. I gave this one 5 stars. I really did like this one, but I really like Kayla Gross and her writing style. I like the way she writes smut. So I kind of thought that this would be at least a 4.5 star for me, but it was a 5. The next one that I read was Santa's Coming. I gave this one 4.5 stars, and this was Sarah's pick for the for Smutmas. So I read this one on camera with everyone else. This was a single mom romance. And I really did like this one as well. Like I said, 4.5 stars. And then the last one that I finished, I actually just finished it this morning, and that is Slacked and Slayed by Aurelia Knight. This is part of the Stolen Obsessions series. I believe this is like a standalone novella, but it falls in between a couple of the books. I think I probably will go read the rest of this series just to get an overarching story. I gave this one 4 stars. This was my pick for Smutmas, and it was a bit darker than I was expecting. There is like on page RAPE, so please be aware of that, because she puts that there is non-consent in here, but doesn't say that. Now, I think she does trigger warn for like spice while someone's sleeping, but this felt much more like RAPE to me, because there were like drugs involved, and it was like a whole thing. But I did give this one 4 stars. I did enjoy it. It was fine, and I probably will continue the series. So those are the books that I finished for this week. All of those were novellas. They were all less than 200 pages, I think. Yeah, these were all less than 200 pages. So they were quick, fast reads, and they really got the Christmas spirit started off for me. And then the book that I'm currently reading, I'm actually currently reading 2 books, and I'm going to talk about both of them very briefly because they are both for projects. But the first one that I'm reading is Ashes of the Sun by Jingle Wexler. This one was a book that I said I wanted to get to by the end of the wintertime, and I'm pretty on track. Now, I will say that these chapters are super long. Even listening to the audiobook, each chapter is between 40 minutes and an hour and a half. And so sometimes it takes the whole 2 hours for me, or almost the whole 2 hours for me to get through a single chapter. I am listening to this a little bit slower than I normally would. I usually listen at around 2 times speed. But the narrator in this book, while wonderful, has a relatively thick accent, and so because of that, I have slowed it down to 1.85. So it's taking me a little bit longer to get through this one, but I am really enjoying it. It looks like I've made no progress, but I am, I think, 30% into this one. Let me just check. Yeah, 33% into this. It does not look like that at all. This is a pretty thick boy, but I really am enjoying this one. The other one that I'm currently reading is on my Kindle, and that is The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is also for a project that I'm doing. This is a month-long December project, and I'm really enjoying this one, but I will warn that it is very hard-hitting, and it is about the Vietnam War and the women, the nurses that were part of the Vietnam War. So it is hard to read, and I have cried a few times. I think that I am 50%. Yeah, I'm around 35% of the way through this one. And I will say that it is a rough one to read. So that is really all that I have for this for the next week. I would like to finish The Women, and I would like to make more progress on Ashes of the Sun. I will say that I have been dedicating at least an hour every single day listening to Ashes of the Sun, and so because of that, I think I have moved through it quickly. Yesterday, I actually did the full 2 hours with Ashes of the Sun, and then I did some extra reading with Slacked and Slade. So I think that's kind of the same way I'm going to be going. Is I always read on my Kindle before I go to bed, as my nighttime routine, but I think that I will probably stick to Ashes of the Sun as my daytime 2-hour book. And I just make sure to dedicate that 2 hours to reading Ashes of the Sun with the audio. So yeah, those are the books that I would like to get to this week, but I would also like to make more headway in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. This one is a book that I started, but I started reading it as an audio or as a physical book, and I may switch back to the ebook, but I haven't really decided. I've actually liked reading the physical book, but what I may do is just set that one aside. Actually, I think I'm going to set that one aside until I have finished Ashes of the Sun, and once I'm done with Ashes of the Sun, I will go back to reading Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I would like to get myself to a point where I'm only reading one book at a time, but I don't know how well that will work if I always need to have a Kindle book going for myself. So it may be that I'm reading 2 books that are distinctly different, one on my Kindle and one as a physical or an audiobook. But yeah, that is really all that I have for you. Let me know down below what you are reading or what you want to read for next week. And if you don't have anything to tell me, just go ahead and leave me any color heart or the little pink bow emoji down below. And I will see y'all somewhere very soon on the internet. Bye!